what up witches. So for anyone who thinks this is extremely random and you're just like, where is this video coming from? I do have a second channel, and on that one is my art channel, but before that it was like my art and mental health channel, because I have a lot of mental illnesses, but that's beside the point. So I would talk a lot about my mental health and illnesses and stuff on there, and I did have a I like being a maladaptive daydreamer video, and that one got a large response. That and these all off the one got like the most biggest response in that channel. So I figured I would do a response video to that, but by the time I wanted to do a response one, I had already changed the whole direction of the channel, and it was just strictly art, and it would be weird to do like one of these when I'm just strictly art on that one. So I decided to do it here, which is why it seems a little random, because it's a response to a video from another channel, which I will link here and there, both places, wherever they may be. Okay, so I don't have a lot of things I want to discuss from there, because a lot of it was like the same things, or people just, agreeing with me and saying like, it's so nice that you have this point of view, because there aren't a lot of people that enjoy it, or even if there are not a lot of people that enjoy it, they don't see that, they don't see people saying it a lot. So they were happy that I was speaking up about liking it, because a lot of times they would hear the term, learn what it is, realize it applies to them because the term isn't like widely known, and then they'd go looking for, other people with it, and then they'd find a whole bunch of, oh, I hate this is ruining my life, which is valid. It does ruin a lot of people's lives, but there are some people who also cope with it well and who enjoy it, i.e. me. So that is why a lot of people liked it. But I'm just gonna answer some of the things that people said, or just respond to some of the things that were said on that video. Okay, so the first thing what someone said was, can you please make a video where you're what you're daydreaming? I don't think that I will ever do that. And I feel like it's like a very, very, not for everyone, not everyone feels this way, but for me, I feel like it's a very, very, very like private thing. I don't want to talk specifically about the characters. I don't tell much about them. I talk about the universe and my world building and what it's like and what type of daydreaming I have. But when it comes to specifics, I get very vague with those. I'm just like, oh, this person does this and that person does that. I don't give any names. I don't give any ages. I don't give any genders. I don't give any of anything. I don't know why it feels like very much like just like mine, like my own, like I don't want to tell anyone anything else about it. So no, I probably will never do one where I explain exactly what the daydreaming is about. Okay, the second question was, does it affect your driving capabilities? And answer that, I do not drive, so I'm not sure if it does or not. Although I don't think if I was driving, I don't think it would affect it. The only thing it does affect is it does affect my directional skills, I guess you would call them, because I am terrible, absolutely terrible at directions, like 100% the worst person you can ask to give you directions to anywhere. And to give you an example, I will tell you, I went to the school up here for 2 years. 2 years I went to this college. I went there 5 days a week, 5 days a week for 2 years straight. I went there 5 days a week, and on one of the days my cousin was going to drive me up there because I had to get some paperwork, and she was available to drive me because usually I take the bus, and I could not tell her how to get there. I did not know the way. I didn't know any streets. I knew the town I was in, but I couldn't tell you how to get to that town. I had no clue. I couldn't even tell you how to get there. So that's how bad my sense of direction is. And I think that's because as soon as I get in like a vehicle, it's like my brain is like, oh, it's time to daydream. Like it's definitely, this is the time. This is our time right now. We're not doing anything. We're in a moving car. There's music playing. This is the time. So I think that's why I'm really bad at directions. But I don't think that would be the case if I was actually driving the car. I don't think I would be daydreaming while driving the car. And if I ever was, I would definitely say this is not safe and I'm not going to drive anymore. Okay, next one was, okay, so this one I just wanted to, I feel like this next one just gives a lot of clarity on like neurotypicals, I guess, who wouldn't understand so much what I'm talking about when I say that I like it and that I wouldn't get rid of it. I feel like this gives clarity, whereas my explanation of it didn't really, explain it properly for other people. So this person says that they've also been daydreaming since they were 5 as well, which is the same for me. As far back as I can remember, I've definitely been a maladaptive daydreamer. It's always been a part of my life, so I literally don't know what I do without it. But they said they have also been daydreaming since they were 5. They're 24 now, so that's 19 years worth of additional memories, 19 years of additional life they've lived, and 19 years worth of characters that they love. So I agree with that, and I think that explains it well enough for other people to understand, where if like someone right now today was like, all these people you've known your whole life, everybody, all your friends, all your family, all your coworkers, all of everybody that you've ever known. We're going to take them away. We're going to act like they don't exist anymore ever again. You're going to start over with a whole new group of people. Or actually, I guess it would be like half. Like if they were going to take like half the people out of your life that you've known your whole life. But you can keep the other half. You know, we'll keep this half of people, but we're going to take this half of people and we're going to act like they don't exist ever again. That's kind of what it would feel like. And I think they explain that in a way where other people would understand what we're saying when we're like, I don't want to get rid of them because I've known them my whole life. Stay focused. So this next one is not very kind, and it is a view that a couple of people had on the video. So I'm just gonna read what they said. So they said, I'm on the wrong one. If you like it, then it isn't maladaptive. If it benefits your life and doesn't cause a problem, then it's not maladaptive. If you enjoy your visit daydreaming and it doesn't interfere with your life, then it isn't maladaptive. So they wanted to really like hone in on the point that it's not maladaptive if you enjoy it, and if it's helping you personally, it's not maladaptive. So I decided to, when I responded to them, because I did respond to them, I was not rude or anything, because I get that people are going to have this view, especially for people who it interferes with their life and are having a hard time coping with it and they can't control it at all, and they see someone like me being like, I like being right every day, you know, that's going to upset them. I get that. But, you know, everybody has to have their own experiences with it. You can't just like throw your views on everyone else. I get that not everyone's going to like it. I do. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, I decided to, since they said it's not maladaptive so many times, I decided to throw the definition back at them of what maladaptive actually is. So the definition of maladaptive is of relating to or characterized by maladaptation or incomplete, inadequate, or faulty adaptation. So that is to say, just because I enjoy something does not mean it is an adequate way of coping with something. There are people who enjoy drinking alcohol to cope with life. Guess what? That's not adequate. Daydreaming in order to get through life because I can't handle the alternative is not adequate. And just because you enjoy something doesn't equate to it being healthy for you. You know, I don't see what the issue is with me saying that I like being a maladaptive daydreamer. That doesn't equate to me not being a maladaptive daydreamer. Like, well, I just don't get it. And about it not interfering with my life, I have had it my entire life. So I have learned it has just always been a part of my life. So I've learned to just, you know, it's been in the mix forever. I've learned to just live with it. So for me saying it doesn't interfere with my life, it's because this is the only way I've known. It can't interfere with something if you've never known like any other way for it to interfere with, you know? If I'm making sense. You get it? You get what I'm saying. The next thing that was said was, I guess they wanted to like rename it, I guess. So they said, what is your opinion on naming this disorder compulsive fantasizing? And it would be defined where an individual chooses to interact with fantasies instead of human interaction. They said it's an emotional experience, and they go on to, it's basically the definition of maladaptive daydreaming, essentially, but with the difference being that someone would like it. But I don't think it's really necessary to separate something just because some people like it and some people don't. I think it already has a term. Just because some people cope with it in one way and some people cope with it in another way. I don't think it's necessary to split up those two things because there's already one term to describe it. Whether someone likes it or not, it already has a term. So I think that we should just leave it at what it's called. It's maladaptive daydreaming. That's what it's been called. So it's hard enough getting people to know what that is instead of tacking on something else onto it, you know. And the last one that someone said that I'm going to answer is, do you know any place where people can talk about their daydreams or share them? And I haven't like actually looked up any maladaptive daydreaming community websites specific. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's like a specific community-based website for maladaptive daydreamers. I think there's just informational websites, and even those are like few and far between. There's not enough information about it basically. But I feel like the most prominent place that people go is Tumblr. And there are definitely two sectors on it. There's people that love it and want to talk about it and want to share their daydreams. And there's questionnaires. And then there's like people that absolutely hate it. And they have things on how to cope with it and how to get rid of it. And, you know, just hearsay on what you can do and what you can't do in order to get rid of it. But I feel like if you need to go somewhere where you want to talk about your daydreams and you want people to comment on them and you want to just share it with someone who understands where you're coming from, I think Tumblr is a good place to go. I think it has a really large maladaptive daydreaming community, at least the largest I've seen so far on like a website like that, because I haven't seen anything on like Twitter. Very, very, very few things I've seen on there. I don't really get on Facebook, so I can't tell you. There probably are communities on Facebook, but I wouldn't know about them because I don't use that website. And I have seen like zero things on Instagram. So it's like if you're going for like a social media type website, then the one you're going to want to go to is definitely Tumblr. Okay, I guess that's all I have to say. I'm done rambling about Maladaptive Daydreaming for 10 minutes or something or so. But yeah, I felt like this was needed because I think a lot of people were wanting to get a response on this. And plus, I just feel like people like Maladaptive Daydreaming videos because there's just not enough out there because it's not really talked about a lot. And it needs to be. It needs to be talked about more. Whether it's good light, bad light, who cares? It needs to be talked about more because I had it for my whole life and I didn't even know what the term was called for a very long time. And I thought I was insane and I was the only one that did this. So we definitely need more information on this. I absolutely thought I was losing my mind. So it's nice to know I wasn't. That's lovely. Okay, I'm done. Bye.